This is a review for Stevie J and Joseline Go Hollywood. Season 1, Episode 6, Take Me to Church. So the episode actually starts off with Stevie J talking with, of course, Russell Simmons. And Russell's just like, look, oh, so you with, who's that girl you with? You're married to? The girl with the big boobs? Her, yeah, Joseline. Oh yeah, Joseline. Yeah, I like her. What's going on with her? It's like, yeah, our relationship's kind of rocky right now. It's gonna stress me. It's like, look, you know, it's all about compromise and all that. And Steve was talking about how he took Joseline to the next level, and so he didn't understand how she's pretty much turning his back on him at this point after she's done made it or come up. And Russell was like, every woman that I've dated, I've taken to the next level, because that's what you're supposed to do. You're supposed to promote and put people on and give them opportunities and make things better for them. You're not guaranteed that they'll do something for you in return. That's not how life works. That's not how it's supposed to work. And I was like, all right, Russell, there we go. There we go. It is not, because that's what Stevie is all about. It's like, oh, I've done this and I've done that for you, Joseline, so you owe me, and I need to do this, need to do that. And Joseline's just like, look, you need to stop holding that against me. Every single time we have an argument, that's your rebuttal. And I'm glad that someone told Stevie. And so Stevie also was trying to meditate, because Russell is all about meditation. And all he kept hearing was essentially like, styles of music and all of that in the background, and made him think of Joseline. So he's at the house, and his daughter is going back to college. One of his daughters is going back to college, and so he wants all of his kids to go and take her to the airport. So he's left there with his grandson, and he also stayed there because he knows Joseline was going to pop up at some point. Now, you know, Joseline loves the kids. She loves the kids, so she does show up. But my whole thing is with Joseline, Joseline's being very petty right now, and I don't know if she doesn't realize it, but those kids do like her. They do like her, but she hasn't put in the work or the effort to kind of show that she's going to stick around. That's why they're keeping her at arm's length. That's really why. But Joseline's just like, look, Stevie, I know what you're trying to do. Trying to say, Grandma, no, I'm auntie. I'm auntie. That's what she kept saying. Because it's like, we're not together right now. And I'm like, look, you can't be playing these type of games when kids are involved. So Stevie is meeting up with this other baby mama, and she was just talking about how, you know, Stevie, you're looking good. He was like, yeah, you know, I've been clean sober for a year and a half, and there's no turning back. My life's getting great. It's like, I feel like I'm looking younger. And she was like, yeah, you are. But Stevie was just saying how he thought that he looked better than he did in the 90s, and she was like, oh, don't go that far. Don't go that far. But you need to chill out. And Stevie was just talking about how I really appreciate you for being such a great baby mama, being the best baby mama ever, and really making things easy for me and all that. And it's like, yeah, because when you compare her to Mimi or maybe anyone else that he's involved with, definitely. So she got a kick out of that. Stevie apparently didn't have much of a relationship with his mom. He was raised by his dad, so shout out to his dad for raising him. But I really would love to know what the story is behind why, not why his dad and his mom broke up, but why his mom didn't have custody of him, because that's just very odd, especially back then. Now it's becoming a little bit more normal where kids aren't just being granted custody directly to the mother. But yeah, so that's interesting. But he was like just thankful to have her in his life again. He reached back out to her. So again, I don't know what she did or what happened between her and his father, but I'm glad that she's there now. That's all that matters. And he's happy. So aside from that, Joseline goes and meets up with her because Stevie's mom was saying how, you know, Joseline loves me and she does respect me. And so Joseline was like, yeah, of course I respect that woman. She had 6 kids and her kitty cat. Why wouldn't I respect Joseline? So, she was just saying how, you know what, I do love you, I do respect you, but your son is a piece of work. And she was like, why don't you come to church with me? She was like, yeah, I'll come to church with you. Do you think the church will burn down? I was like, yeah, no, Joseline. I hate I hate when people honestly say that, because even though they say that they're joking, I really think they're serious when they're saying, oh, you think the church will burn down? Because how I see that is that's their way of saying, you know what, they probably see me as a heathen, and I don't want to go anywhere where I'm not welcome. I don't want anyone to think anything of me, or God to judge me and all that. It's like, look, we judge ourselves a lot more than God ever would. You know, Jesus is about forgiveness. So let's stop all that. So she agrees to go to church for now. Afterwards, Stevie is at church and he's with his kids, which is great. And Stevie, you know, he sings, and sometimes we forget that Stevie can actually sing, like how people used to sing in the 90s and in the 80s and before that, before this whole talk singing and chanting took over, or pseudo chanting, if you're anyone else except for Rihanna. And so Stevie goes up and gives his testimony. He was saying how he's been sober for 1.5 years, no drugs, and it was like, I'm so proud of the fact that he admitted that it was drugs. Of course, he didn't specify, but we know it was some foolishness. Now, side note, his pastor, is he one of the pastors of the mega churches that was on Preachers of LA? I think so. I think he is. Oh, Lord. Viacom and Oxygen working together. You can't fool me. You cannot fool me. I'm sure he jumped at the opportunity for something like that. Anyway, not Stevie J, his pastor. Anyway, so they were coming out of the church, and it's just like, damn, Joseline supposed to be here, and you know, his daughter is over it. It's just like, no, forget Joseline. His mom was just like, oh, I know. It's like, yeah, you know, she was supposed to be here. You talked to her. I talked to her. It didn't happen. Oh, well. It's like, this is the family right here. So he's going to continue to try again, and he's going to get his feelings hurt because, again, his mom was really stood up. So, of course, that would piss him off. Mimi's there next week. And it's going to be interesting to see Mimi and Stevie just get along without the drama. That's why I'm like, how much of this foolishness has been made up? Because it's ridiculous.